Today we got an Am I Overreacting? My husband randomly cuts off his Find My iPhone when he's out with his friends. Should I be worried? Here we go.
Ooh.
My husband's 42 and I'm 34. I've been married going on 5 years now. We have 2 kids and I would like to think a very happy and fulfilling life together. The entire family all has access to one another's Find My iPhone, just in case of emergencies, and lately, my husband has been doing something that has rubbed me the wrong way, and I need help understanding it. So over the other week, my husband and I take turns to have a night out for ourselves. This usually falls under the umbrella of me having alone time to read, wine night with friends, date night if I so choose, etc. Over the past few months, however, my husband has mysteriously had this setting off on his phone. The first few times this has happened, I didn't think anything of it, and sometimes shit happens. But after multiple times, I've noticed that this feature goes off conveniently minutes after he leaves the house. Now, with that said, I will say I have asked him about it, and it seems to always say it's because my phone isn't updated, or that's so odd. I don't even know how to do that, which in my opinion are such bullshit answers. Technically, I have no proof and did not confront him, but he claims it's not his doing. Any advice or help with this situation? Am I overreacting here and looking into something that probably even isn't a thing?
Yeah. I mean, sharing location is always an interesting thing when it comes to like relationships and stuff. I see the benefit of it. I don't share my location because my girl and I have different phones. I have Android. She has a iPhone. I don't know if you can even do it on like cross-platform phones and stuff like that, but she shares her location with her friends and stuff. But for me, I wouldn't like, if as family settings go, I could see the benefit of having that. But like, if you're trying to keep tabs on the person you're with, I mean, I feel like that's a deeper rooted issue. Like, I want to know where you're going, but to me, it screams strip club.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's going out with the boys, strip club. Not the nice ones either. The outskirt towns with the B-listers.
I have, and the whole family has iPhones, right? And I have this feature on my phone, and because my daughter's 13 and I like to know where she's at and stuff like that are coming and going.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah, so we have it on
sense.
And mine, I don't know why, like mine is always on with my daughter. It works 100% of the time. But Cheryl's, my wife's, it does cut off sometimes. I don't know why. Like say I don't like keeping a bunch of text messages because sometimes I randomly send to the wrong person or I'm doing something real fast. So anyway, I delete my text messages. I've always had I don't like having 30 different people in my text messages, whatever. So it says keep sharing tracking or something. I always say keep sharing tracking, but sometimes it turns off. I don't know why. Nor does it matter.
I mean, it's all dependent on connection, though. Like if you drop 5G, like it's either operating off Wi-Fi or 5G, and if you live in a rural area and you get no reception out there, it can't track it. Like you can't track it without signal. So
all the comments are mixed. Like everybody's just like same thing. Probably the fact that you're checking in the first place means you want to spy on him a bit, and you probably shouldn't be. The other one's like, if bro isn't cheating, he's at least not where he says he's going to be, which is still lying. In the same breath, how do you know that he's turning it off just a few minutes after leaving each time? Doesn't sound like there's enough trust on either side of this relationship for marriage. So like you said, it's a deeper rooted issue of trust between both of them. I don't know,
Yeah, that's not an assumption either, though. If you look at it in its base form, like you're tracking the person you're with, it's one thing to have tracking on if it's your spouse, you have kids, obligations, things like that. Yeah, for sure. But like, if he's going out and it's supposed to be you time and their time and stuff, and you're periodically checking in on him, and you're like, oh, his tracking's not on. Like, I feel like that alludes to a different kind of mental mentality about the situation.
Yeah.
And, that has deeper meaning. I don't know what that deeper meaning is like for this couple and this lady, but she obviously has issue with not being able to see exactly where her husband's at. And, as a comment say like, are you insecure about something? Do you feel like he's really doing something bad? Like, and for me, just hearing it, like if I hear, I don't assume the worst, but I'm like, I feel like the only reason for him to shut it off is one of two reasons. Either he's cheating or he's going somewhere where it pushes the borderline, like, as I said, strip club Or, it could be,
Maybe
I
he's
don't
going
know
to the
where does
movies
it
and he
say
just
where they
didn't want to
live?
invite her. No, it doesn't say where they live, but I mean, a lot of people
Well,
are like,
she says in the post that it's like his night out with the boys. So
yeah,
it's like, are they going to a casino and he's gambling? Like, it could be a couple different things. Like, I
this is
don't want her to
such a
worry about the
girl,
financial. I don't
a,
want her, so I don't
a
want it
girl
on.
answer right here. You could air tag his car, but it might tell him he has an air tag on him. Like, when did personal trackers become a thing? Like, if you need to
Oh, for a
track,
minute, bro.
no,
People
I
do air
get that,
tags.
but that's horrible. Like, I know people like sometimes they'll put it in their kid's shoe and stuff like acceptable things like that, but uh, it's I hate having a cell phone. I hate the fact like when somebody's like, I texted you, why didn't you text back? Well, I'm a dude. I don't look at my phone like a girl every 30 seconds. I'm not well, not all girls are like that, but most. And sit there and just be like, oh, I gotta text this person back. Like I might glance at it while I'm driving. Oh, I got a text from old boy. And then I'm doing 50 other things that are important and forget about it, you know? And if it's not
Yeah.
that important or emergency, and if it is that important, you'd call, you know, like some people
Yeah.
don't like being called, but if I have something important, like I need to get a hold of you, I'm calling you. You know what I mean? I'm not just
Yeah,
gonna send
that's
you a
what I tell my
text.
lady. I'm like,
SOS.
I prefer you to call me if it's something elaborate and important, opposed to
Yeah.
texting me, because I'm not trying to read a freaking novel through
Yeah.
text message
Oh, I
on my
hate
phone,
that. And you
especially
can't
if I'm doing
tell
stuff
the
out.
attitude of a person through a text message.
No, not at
Sometimes
all.
things
Not, I mean,
sound rough, you
if
know,
somebody
but
has really
sometimes,
good grammar and punctuation and stuff,
which
not
is
grammar,
not
but a
most
really good
people,
punctuation, like not most people, yeah, not most
no.
people, but then you can tell that kind of stuff easily enough. But that's not the case. Everybody shorthands everything in text message. I'm guilty of that as well. But as I said, like I'll call. I rather just call and be like, hey, this is what's going on and this stuff like that. But I never have I've never had the inkling to start like being like, we need to track each other's whereabouts at all times. Like I feel like that's a little much. And if I
Yeah.
felt like fucking, that was something I need to do, I would definitely address the underlining root of that thought process
And, you know,
immediately,
I've been
opposed to.
married for what, this will be 26 years. And you know me, not once have I picked up my wife's phone and gone through it. Not once have I like gone through her
Yeah.
purse. Not once have I, where are you at? What are you doing? Who you're with? I'm very confident in myself and in my wife. And I know, but I do know guys that are like, well, you went to the grocery store. It should have took you 10 minutes to get there, 30 minutes to shop, 10 minutes to get home. It took you an extra 10 minutes. Who are you seeing? Like, dude, well, people are like that, man.
Well,
It's crazy because you can't identify with that, you know, but jealousy's a mother, you know? I mean,
so
golly.
so the closest thing I have to that was like when my girl and I started dating. We've been together for almost 3 years now, and I told her, like, the only time I really need her to let me know what's going on is like, if she's going to work some OT. Like if they ask her to work OT, she can easily tell them, be like, okay, I'll work some OT, but let me have a minute to text my boyfriend, uh,
Yeah,
or
it's
text me
totally understandable. I'm going to be home a couple
that I'm
hours
going to
late.
work
That's a big
OT.
deal.
And or she's talking with people after she's supposed to be off work, like outside of work, and she's like, it's not that I'm counting on her like to be home at a certain time. It's just when
Well,
you
it's a
don't hear
change
anything,
from the
you default
norm.
to the
Yeah.
norm, right?
Yeah,
When
of
you
course.
don't hear anything, you default to the norm. They're off at this time. It takes, I know how long it takes me to get home,
Yeah.
and I know she has a little bit more of a lead foot than me. So I'm like, she should be home at this time. That's if I don't hear anything. Like that's if I don't. I
That's
just that's
understandable.
the
If
default.
I'm supposed to
And
be home at
that's the
6 a.m. and the roads are icy, I don't come home till 7:30. I know Cheryl's going
yeah.
to be worried. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
send
Well, that's a
anything. You don't
relationship
tell.
courtesy that is
Yeah,
important. Like,
that you said that correctly.
information.
It's a courtesy. It's not that it's
Yeah.
a must. Like she's not gonna get. Well, she'd be a little mad, I guess, if I did. If you know, like she expects me to come home from work and I come home 2 hours late, no call, no show. I would be mad
Yeah,
too
no,
because
that's
I'd be
rightfully
worried.
so.
I'd be
Because you can,
worried.
without information, you are only left to default to the norm, which is they're off work. It usually takes around this time. We know there's traffic. Like, uh, I work in the far north of the city, and I live in the far south of the city. So I know how long it takes to get home. I know which roads you have to go and what traffic looks like. So
Yeah,
if I don't hear anything, I default to the norm. This is what it is. Should be this. And it's not that I'm like, she isn't home at this time. It's just like, I really hope nothing's going on. I really hope nothing happened. I really hope everything's okay. And, and it's just, as I said, a courtesy, like, hey, just let me know. But I've never been like, oh, we need to put tracking on the phone and we need to start tracking everyone's whereabouts and stuff like that.
Look at
Just
another
because,
person, like, just ask your husband where, or your hubby, where him and his friends will be. Then get a friend to go there and confirm. If he tells you he's at a strip club or Pokey's casino, he isn't lying. Why do men give you this bullshit answer and expect you to just be like, oh, okay?
Like, we grew up before this was even a thing, so we got used to the norm, which is you ain't hearing from no one all day unless they call you and you at home to answer that call.
Yeah, this one,
like,
this one comment says, my comment is going to be contrary to the majority of posters. Do you even notice the app is called Find My Phone, not track my spouse's every move? Unless your kids are under 14, turn the family sharing off for everybody. Work at communication, trust, honesty. It's a much healthier way to live and build a trusting relationship. Monitoring everybody's every move is what a parole board does. Convicted felons use ankle monitors. Sadly, if your husband's relationship has devolved to that point, you think he's sleeping with somebody every time he leaves, then you need to go see a counselor or a lawyer at worst. I mean, ladies, guys, this is people don't like to hear the correct answer here. It's what most, if you look into these comments, the truth is uncomfortable. That's it. A lot of people default to, oh, he's cheating. And, maybe he doesn't want to be tracked. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe he's like, I don't need to be tracked. I'm a grown man. I go and come where I want to. All my stuff is taken care of. My wife shouldn't be tracking me anyway. Like, who knows? I mean, we can only speculate. But pretty much that's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, relationship expectations and stuff like that are always interesting. They're always evolving as you get deeper into relationships. But you can navigate that stuff with communication opposed to assumption. What is the saying? Uncommunicated expectation is premeditated resentment. Like, if you're not communicating the expectation. If you're not communicating your expectation to the person you have that for, then you're just setting yourself up for disappointment. Yeah. Everything takes communication. So,
things would be different. What happens if she went to him and said, look, I want your tracker on so I can look at and know where you are 24/7. I want to be able to see every waking moment, every move you make when you're not here at this house. Does that sound like reasonable? It doesn't, right? So,
no,
I mean,
it doesn't sound reasonable.
Well, that's what she's asking for, So that's what it comes down to.
And if my girl came and said that to me, I'd be like, what have I done to instill this level of uncertainty with you? Like,
notice the words,
suspect me of being felonious in any capacity.
Yeah. And I like the word she of course, she's writing this, so she's going to control the narrative, but she's already making her husband sound out to be a bad person in this. He mysteriously has his phones off. Bullshit answers that he gives. She's the way she's wording this is making him already to look like a cheater. That's why a lot of the stuff in here is like
instills deception. Like, he's being deceptive to some degree, and it's like, and I don't feel like she's wrong in that assumption. So mine's also another overreacting, but it's kind of revisiting the last video we did. I really love these entitlement ones of people that have no entitlement, especially when clearly communicated with. This one's, am I overreacting? Refusing to split the cost of a vacation I never agreed to join. And so it says, my cousin invited a few of us to a beach trip. I told her clearly that I could not go because of work schedule. My work schedule was tight and I was trying to save money. Understandable. She kept insisting and said she would handle planning. I reminded her multiple times that I would not be attending. A week later, she sent the group a total and told everyone to send their share of the house rental and groceries. Hey, this is what you owe. You're like, oh, what?
I said I wasn't going.
Yeah, but like, I love that for you. Like, fantastic. Yeah. Why are you sending that to me?
Ooh, that's expensive. Good thing I'm saving and not going.
Right? I told her I was not paying for the vacation I did not go on. She said my spot was already included and that I was making things hard for the group. I repeated that I told her from the start I was not coming. Yeah, fuck
your cousin.
She claimed my refusal threw off the budget. Now, relatives are messaging me saying I should pay at least a portion of the amount to keep the peace. I did not see how that is fair. I never agreed to anything, and I warned her several times that I was not going to join. and I love these, man. Like I
Is
love
there any
it when
names in
people are
there?
entitled. What's that?
Is there any names in there? Do they have any names of
No,
these
no
people?
names.
Darn it.
No names. No, nothing like that. But like, how you, like, if you're getting communicated with and somebody's telling you like, nah, this ain't for me, this ain't for me. And then they're trying to be like, no, it's all good. Like you're in it. Like, I'm like, bro, you're tripping, especially if you're going to send me a itemized receipt or a receipt about something and expecting me like, cause back when we rode motorcycles, I had a dude, you remember Connor? He worked with
Yeah.
us for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. Up
Yeah,
at the
so
warehouse. Yeah.
we booked a Frisco trip to ride. There's like 6 of us. We were going to
Sac
ride
to the
down
Bay
on our
ride?
motorcycles. What?
Was it the Sac to Bay ride?
It was Reno to the Bay ride.
Oh, I didn't know it
And
was a
so
Reno one.
he agreed to it. And this obviously is different, but he agreed to the trip beforehand. And I was booking everybody's.
That's different. He agreed
that's different,
to it.
right? I booked everybody's rooms in Berkeley because we were riding down. We're going to stay in Berkeley and ride through Frisco on the, what's that?
It's expensive.
Well, better than staying in Frisco.
Yeah,
that
of
was
course.
way
Oh,
expensive.
God.
Berkeley,
Trust me, I know.
plus we got to ride across the bridges. But then he
Yeah.
backed out last second, and I told him, I was like, hey, bro, you still have to pay for your room. Like, you agreed and you backed out, and I get that. But, like, if
Deposit's
you
already
don't pay
been
for
made.
your stuff, yeah, well, I had to book the rooms in advance to make sure we got them.
Of course.
And he didn't want to at first, but I was like, so you're telling me because you back out last minute, I have to pay for it? It's different, but still in that same realm of like, you know, if he would have communicated from the get-go, I would have left him to his own devices about booking his own stuff. But he was like, no, book my stuff for me. Where this person is telling their cousin, like, no, I'm not going. No, I'm not going. I don't know. I want to know what the cousin was thinking. Like if they're telling you they're not going, why would you rationalize they're going? And I get it too. It's like they want to go on this trip and they don't want to pay all that money out and stuff. But entitlement's a crazy thing when it comes to stuff like this, especially with family. Like, you know, through proper communication and respect.
Jeremy, I'm going to Hawaii. You're like, I can't go. I'm like, well, I already booked my family's bungalow, and you owe $350.
It's like my ex-in-laws, bro. It's like my ex-in-laws where my ex-father-in-law, we would go to Mexico every year.
Yeah.
And so he booked my plane tickets. And I was like, hey, man, like, I get that you booked the plane tickets already, but you didn't talk to me about this stuff. Like, I can't leave the day you want me to leave. Like, that's not how my vacation is set up. Like, you want me, like, he booked the whole stay for 7 days. And I'm like, bro, all I have is 7 days. I don't have the ability, like, my ex-wife, she worked from home and was her own boss. He is his own boss, and everybody else in the family was retired or they were kids and had substantial time off, where I was the only one that had like an actual schedule.
What do you mean you don't have the flexibility to take any time you want? That's that entitlement, man. That's the unrational thinking. You can't overcome unrational thinking. It just doesn't work, dude. Unrational people can't be. It's like arguing with a drunk person.
Well, when I told him this stuff, like, I was partially talking to him and communicating through my ex-wife, like what was going on. And they were like, oh, well, you'll just have to pay to reschedule the flight then. And I was like, I'm not paying nothing. I just won't go. Like, you guys made a series of decisions without consulting me about it or talking to me about it for planning, especially when, you know, this plan is a reoccurring plan that you guys have every year. And I love doing it. And I think this was my second time or maybe even my first time going to Mexico with them. But I was just like, you can't expect me to pay. Like, I never asked for this. You came to me and was like, we're doing this. We want to do this. We want you to be a part of it. And I'm like, cool, that sounds great. Like, you know, I can accept that. It wasn't like, there wasn't no stipulations where I had to sacrifice a whole bunch, but I always made it clear that like, there was, you know, I had limitations on my time. There was constraints around my availability for this. And plus, like, you know, going for 7 days, like, that's the entirety of my stuff. Like, have a day to travel, get back and have to go to work the next day. I hate that.
Crazy.
I don't like to do that at all.
I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that either. That's crazy.
No.
Especially coming from out of the country, you're like flying back home last minute, trying to jump in the house and get all ready to go and be at work the next day all day. God, you'd be exhausted.
Well, flying back was like coming from Mexico, going to Chicago, 3-hour layover in Chicago to fly into Reno.
You know I know about traveling.
And stuff like, oh yeah, I know you know, but I mean, that's not my first rodeo with long travel either, but I like to have at least 1 day before I have to go back to work. And this didn't even leave me that time. And it's like, it is not worth it to me. And plus too, like, people don't understand, like, if you're not communicating expectation of time frame and stuff like that, like I'm down to go to Mexico. But
Yeah.
every year, things like that, like I want to do stuff on my vacation that is fun to me. I want to go out and
Yeah,
go
of
mountain
course.
biking,
Of
go do
course.
stuff with my dogs. Plus, even that, like I had dogs. Like I can't pawn them off on my buddy to watch them for 7 days, like or leave them in a shelter for 7 days. I mean, I can at times if I have that planning in mind,
Yeah,
but
but
like,
I
you
wouldn't want
know,
to leave my animals in the shelter for 7 days. I mean, different people,
no, they think
different strokes,
all
but
they think is like they've been abandoned, and
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
instill that in
yeah,
them.
yeah.
But
We
this
treat
is crazy
animals
though. Like,
different, they're part of the family, I mean, it's not,
yeah. Well,
uh,
this person right here isn't overreacting. For like
nah,
the relatives that are saying they should pay a portion, tripping.
tripping, tripping.
The
Have you noticed a
cousin
lot of
thinking
these
they should pay
stories?
anything, tripping.
People,
What's that?
all these stories and all this stuff we're reading, if you haven't noticed, the one key takeaway from everything is communication. All these stories, what I like when we read these things, a lot of the problems is just straight communication. If they communicate better,
There, there's
you would,
no communication, and
yeah.
there's an assumption of ownership, and it's like no, 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 no.
The assumption is horrible, dude.
Heavy money involved. If there's
Dude, that's an
if
out of
there
country trip. That is big. It's not a little thing.
well, even flights these days, flying is
Oh my
expensive.
gosh.
I
Look
mean,
at when I had to fly during COVID when we were gonna fly home. That's why we drove. Flights were like 6,000 and something dollars just for the four of us to go to Sac and back. And this time when I flew home with Kylie gave me 2 weeks notice that she was getting married, it was still
yeah,
$4,600 to
yeah,
get
that's a lot.
round
That's
trip
not.
tickets from
Well, I mean,
Kentucky to California, which is I was
not
just
just
like,
the
oh my
cost of
God.
travel and room and board, but like the cost of like eating and stuff like that. Like it says
Yeah, the whole trip
rental
cost me
and
like
groceries,
$8,800 and we didn't do anything.
but you can get groceries, but you're still going to eat out, and eating out these days is expensive. Going anywhere is expensive.
What are you gonna eat
Um,
out, Jeremy?
because this was it. Oh my God. Uh, yeah, no. This post is from 12 days ago. So it's like
Oh wow,
obviously
recent.
current. It's obviously in today's economy. And like, I mean, everything's expensive. Eating anywhere is expensive. And
Yeah.
it
Oh, I
doesn't
got
really,
that. Yeah,
it doesn't say where they're
eating
going,
out's
but
not
I
the same.
imagine, yeah, well, I mean,
It tastes good, but not that
budgeting
good.
stuff. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I've had this discussion too about people being like, we need to, or we should. And it's like, listen, I'm saving to buy a house.
Yeah.
Like every dollar counts. And it's not like I don't want to do stuff. It's just everything that I do has to be calculated and take planning. And I take a lot more, I put a lot more into it because I can't deal with surprises. Like, oh, this is just going to cost a few $100s more. A few $100s is a lot. It affects everything. I mean, I make good money, but
Yeah.
I'm also saving
Hey.
for a bigger picture
Yeah,
thing.
me
And
too.
anything that takes away from that is sacrifice to that bigger
Well,
picture goal. But
yeah.
with this stuff though, like I don't think this person's overreacting at all. The trip, especially if they explain from the very get-go that they're not going,
Yeah, of course.
it just cracks me up because it's just another one where people are assuming something, being entitled, and it's like I hate entitlement.
Don't
to
be
that
entitled,
degree, especially
people.
when
Don't
there's
do it.
blatant disregard to
Nothing good's gonna come
proper
of being entitled.
communication. And
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't
stop assuming people are obligated to do stuff they are not obligated
yeah,
to.
quit
Like
allocating other people's funds, like
time,
or time.
money,
Yeah, hey, I know. Trust me.
anything, like we're all stressed. Everyone's stressed. Everything,
Especially right
like,
now. Everything that's
especially
going on
right
in the
now,
world,
people are tired of a numerous amount of things, and like you have to have more understanding these days for everyone. Not like through communication and finding out what they're tired of, but just being like, if you're tired, they're tired, and if you're going solid and you're not tired, then good for you.
Yeah.
Like, operate in that space, but don't assume somebody else is going to be comfortable or wanting to do something that they don't want to do, especially when they communicate they don't want to do that shit. So,
all right,
but
man, let's get out of here. It's been a long one.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah,
I'm
Merry
coming off
Christmas.
being sick. Sorry if there's not a lot of energy on my part. It's the first day I kind of feel good, and we still wanted to put a video out. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.